Hi, I'm Paul Vonderpoorten. I'm an aerospace engineer at Marshall Space Flight Center here in Huntsville, Alabama. I work on the guidance team for NASA's new launch vehicle, the Space Launch System. And the guidance team, basically, we're in charge of the algorithms that gets the launch vehicle from launch safely to orbit. My friend Darius and Tiffany will also be going over some of the questions that you sent us, so here we go.
Hello everyone, my name is Darius Yagubi and I'm an aerospace engineer at NASA Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama. Specifically, my job is a flight control stability engineer, so I make sure that the rocket doesn't fall over. Today, we're going to go over a few questions that you guys have sent in to us. Okay, so first question, what college did you go to? I'm a proud graduate of North Carolina State University in Raleigh, North Carolina. I only have an undergraduate degree. Next question, what was the first thing that sparked your interest in entering the study of science to become a rocket scientist? Well, first thing that really inspired me to pursue this career was a really heavy interest in aviation. When I was young, I was really into flying and airplanes and things like that, and that kind of inspired me to go towards this path. Follow-up question to that was, what interested you to go into that field? Well, I already kind of answered that. And right, next question, was becoming a rocket scientist your number one career option? No, actually, my number one career option was to become a fighter pilot, with eventually the hopes of becoming an astronaut. But I decided as I went towards college that engineering was something more of an interest for me than actually being a fighter pilot. But I still have the option of becoming an astronaut once I'm done as an engineer. What education or special schooling is required for your job? Well, I mentioned before that I had a degree from a university. That's probably the most basic thing that you at least have to have. You have to have a college degree. Specifically for NASA, if you want to get into to be kind of a rocket scientist, you want a degree in any type of engineering or some sort of physical science like physics or astronomy or chemistry. How long do you have to study to become a rocket scientist? That all depends on how far exactly you want to go. If you go to school and get your kind of basic engineering degree, that can take as little as 4 years. Or if you want to go and get a PhD, that can take as long as 10 years or more. So anywhere from 4 to 10 years to get in, depending on what type of specialty you want to do.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Russell. I am a physicist at Marshall Space Flight Center. I work in the Advanced Concept Office, which designs and produces conceptual missions. So we do futuristic stuff like going to Mars, going to the outer planets, and we also do a lot of science payloads and studies. So we're the ones that get to think far out and design future missions. I specialize in space systems, so my specialty is in environments protection, so worrying about how the astronauts will survive a trip from Earth to Mars. That's my specialty. And I am really glad to be able to talk to you today. Okay, I went to the College of Notre Dame of Maryland and graduated in 2006 with a bachelor's degree in physics. And then I went to the University of Maryland, College Park, and have a degree in aerospace engineering. And let's see, the questions I have, what was the first thing that sparked my interest? When I was 12 years old, I went down to the Kennedy Space Center while I was visiting Disney World. And I saw a video about a space station that sent people out to comets to capture the comets and bring them back and harvest the water. And I thought that was the coolest thing in the world, and I wanted to know, why can't we have that now? So once I figured out that we didn't have that capability when I was 12, over the past several years they've been building the space station and putting people on it. But I wanted to be a part of designing a bigger one so that everybody could go.
Who or what inspired you to choose this career path? Well, kind of an idol for all of us at NASA, Neil Armstrong, as you guys probably know, first man to walk on the moon. Next question is, what do you do on a daily basis for your job? Well, actually, one of the things that most people don't realize about engineering is you do a lot of talking with other types of engineers. I mentioned before that I was a flight stability engineer, and that's a very, very specific type of aerospace engineering. But there's structural engineers, there's propulsion engineers, and I gather a lot of info from them, whether it is emailing them or calling them or whatever. They do an analysis, they send me data, and I use that data to make sure that whatever I'm working on is correct. So I mentioned before, flight stability, I make sure the rocket doesn't fall down. So I take their data, I throw it through a bunch of programs and codes that I've written, And I take a look at the output and do some analysis and make sure that everything is where it should be. Does your family ever use the "it's not rocket science" joke? Well, not just my family, but just about everyone I meet who, when they find out I'm an aerospace engineer, says that. Ever since I started out as a freshman in college studying aerospace engineering, everyone was always saying, "Oh, ho, ho, it's not rocket science." Well, it really gets old, but I hear it all the time, and just about everyone else at NASA does too. Next question is, what powers a rocket? Well, the rocket powers the rocket, which is kind of funny to say, but when you think about it, you look at a rocket, and the engine down at the bottom is the rocket engine, and that provides all of the power for the rest of the vehicle.
The question is, how fast does a rocket go? And the rocket can go very, very fast. In space, we like to measure it by kilometers per second, and a rocket can go up to 10 to 12 kilometers per second. And if you think about it, 1 kilometer is equal to 0.6 miles. So by the time it goes 10 kilometers per second, it's actually gone 6 miles in 1 second, which is very fast. Okay, the question is, how big is the average rocket? I would say that the average rocket can be anywhere from 150 up to 300 feet in height and can weigh millions and millions of pounds, mostly because there has to be enough propellant in it to get a particular payload into space, whether that's a small satellite, a big satellite, pieces of the space station, or rovers that go to Mars or a different planetary body. So they range in size from about 10 feet in diameter all the way up to 33 feet in diameter. And the biggest rocket, the Saturn V rocket, was about 325 feet tall, which is just as tall as the Empire State Building.
Next question, what was the most exciting experience in my job at NASA? Well, that would have to be witnessing the launch of a space shuttle in person. Back in 2008, the launch of Space Shuttle STS-126 went up. And if any of you happen to have been to an actual launch, it's probably one of the most interesting and exciting things ever. You get to feel the ground shake. If you're close enough, you can even sometimes feel the heat of the engines. And if it's at night, it lights up the entire sky. It's spectacular. In the future, we'll be launching a ton more rockets from Kennedy Space Center, so if you have the opportunity, I highly encourage you to go down there and check them out. Next question is, do you believe in aliens or other life forms? Absolutely. Now, we don't have any evidence of aliens existing, but what we do have is something that we like to think of as the statistics behind it. If you look up in the night sky, you see all those stars everywhere. Those are, light years away. But what you don't see is all the tons of hundreds of trillions of other stars that are out there. And any one of those stars could have a planet just like Earth, and any one of those planets could have life on them. So aliens may not be anywhere near us, but I think they're out there somewhere. Next question, what's the best part about being a rocket scientist? Well, this is an easy one. I'd say the best part is just knowing that all the stuff I'm working towards is contributing towards the benefit of all of mankind. And also, I get to go into work and say, I built spaceships. So, yeah.
Okay, have I ever been to space before? Unfortunately, no. The highest I've ever gone is on an airplane across the country, and that was 37,000 feet. So I have not gone into space, but I would love to. There are many opportunities outside of NASA, like Virgin Galactic and Mars One. There's all these commercial companies that would like to send people into space. They're just working on making it affordable for everyone. But when they do, I'll be buying my ticket.
And my final question, have you ever been to space, and if not, would you want to? I have never been to space. There aren't that many people at NASA who do go to space. There's only the actual astronauts go up there. Us engineers, we typically spend most of the time on the ground. I would love to go to space. Actually, one day I aspire to be an astronaut. I've submitted an application for the astronaut course, so hopefully in the future you'll see me going up on one of the rockets. So that's it for me.